Hello and welcome to A1R Psychic Radio. And I want to talk about, some of the spiritual gifts that we accrue in our lifetime. And, I've spoken a lot on this show about how it's important to learn your lessons. And this is why we come to the earth plane. But I think one of the hardest lessons to learn, and it's a real struggle to do that, is forgiveness. And I know that I know because of my work as a medium that many people fall out in their lifetimes, on the earth plane, and they continue that on when they get to the spirit world because they can never reconcile. And that hurt and that anguish that sits within them will always be there. And I do think that this is just my personal opinion, but I think that sort of anguish and hurt and pain never really sort of helps you and helps your body, because it's an energy that sits within you. And so by you being hurt and holding on to that hurt, what you're doing is you're actually holding on to to all that hurt, and you're not letting it go away. Now, with forgiveness, it doesn't mean that you have to sort of spend your whole life with somebody and prove to them that you're forever loving. And of course, being loving is great, but it's about not. If you can forgive them in your soul and not hold on to things, then I think it's a lot better thing to do. I keep on dropping my earphone, so excuse me as I'm pushing it all around. But anyway, I do feel that another one of spiritual aspects or spiritual things that we learn. For some of us, love comes naturally, and love can be something that we acquire in our lives, and people may be really nice to us and we love them for that. But to love somebody that perhaps isn't nice to us is more difficult, because when they're not nice to us, our sort of knee-jerk reaction, our intention is to protect ourselves, and so we perhaps won't love them, or we will pull away from them. And to have love in your heart for everyone is very difficult. But as people become more evolved spiritually, they will be looking to help more people in the world and not be about themselves. And this is a real sort of shift in the soul that ultimately needs to happen for our world to be in a better place. Because we live in a world where we always look to have what's right for us. But I'm not saying that everyone is like that. And we've all been guilty of that as well, including myself. But what I'm saying is that if we can be less, have more forgiveness in our heart, and more loving to the world, then the world will be a better place, because that anguish won't be carried forward in our lives, and love will be always around. So that's in an ideal world, I guess. Anyway, I'm looking forward for some callers that are going to be calling in, and I believe that Sarah is waiting. Are you there, Sarah?
Yeah.
Hi, Sarah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a medium, and I work with the spirit world, and so I can either give guidance to you from my guides, or I can look to connect to a loved one in the spirit world. Is there a particular way that you would like me to work?
Yeah, the second loved one.
You'd like me to connect to somebody in the spirit world?
Yes.
And because we've got such a short space of time, I normally ask people who they'd like me to connect to, because generally it's very easy to to get them. And obviously, I'd be looking to give you evidence of that as well.
Yeah.
Who would you like me to connect to? Your nan?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this your nan on your father's side of the family?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Because I'm being instantly drawn to that side of the family. And
yeah.
She's saying to me that it's been quite an adjustment for her in the spirit world. And it's almost like it wasn't easy for her to leave the world and the people that she loves so much. Because she's saying to me that she worried a lot about people being okay. And because she's letting me know that she always tried to look after everyone and make sure everyone was all right. And this was something that she struggled with since she's been in the spirit world, because it hasn't always been easy to connect to loved ones. Does that make sense to you about her character?
Yeah.
And she says that she's been particularly worried about you, because she says that emotionally you've struggled not only with losing her, but also with quite a few aspects in your life, because she's letting me know that since her passing, there's been problems in your family. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. It's with me with my health.
Pardon?
It's with me. I'm just waiting for a kidney transplant.
Right. She's just, I went to her and she said, yes, I know all about that. And she says to me that she's letting me know that you've been quite emotional. And your nan was somebody that you would always go to if there was a problem. Like she was your comfort blanket in a way. She gave you a lot of security, and she's making me feel as though like she was the go-to rather than other members of the family, because she's saying to me that other members of the family haven't always treated you in the way that you would expect them to. Would you understand that?
Yeah.
And so she's saying to me that she very much sort of took you under her wing and sort of tried to look after you. And she's also saying that there was many conversations that you had about family members and your difficulties with them. But she's also saying to me that you were her favorite. And because she's saying that you and her had a stronger connection than others. She's saying to me that you're more alike. You're not the same as the others. And it's just like the two of you just got on. It was just sort of like a really nice friendship and a nice, very, very nice, very, like it's like she was like almost like your best friend. That's how I could, because I feel like you could go to her and tell her anything or talk to her about anything, and that was what's so nice about your relationship with your nan.
Yeah.
But she's showing me chocolate as well, because I feel like she's making me feel like chocolate was a big part of your relationship. Like you would have eaten chocolate together. And she would always get a little bit of chocolate in if she knew you were going to come over, because she knows that you like chocolate. And She says to me that she's been around some of your doctor's appointments and sort of, medical things. And
Yeah.
she says that she's making me feel like you've been treated well and with care and compassion. And it's not just sort of, their medical knowledge that they're imparting. They've been very caring to you, which she's liked about the people that you've had to deal with. Do you, and she's saying to me, do you have to go on public transport to hospital appointments?
Yes. Yeah.
Because she's showing me you going on public transport, not in a car or anything, and she's making me feel as though it's a bit of a distance for you to get there.
Yeah, it is,
because it's like you have to catch sort of like 2 buses or something, and it's not that easy for you to get there.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's quite far.
But she says that she always comes with you. She makes a point of being with you when you go there. They're also saying that you're. I'm being told that you're quite high up on a list. Like there's a list of the next person that's going to get the kidney transplant, and I feel like you're high up. You're high up on the list, and she's making me feel as though it's not going to be long before you actually get this transplant, and it's like very soon, because it's almost like they're making me feel like you're second on the list. But I don't know whether it's literally second or whether you're very high up on this. But that's what I'm being feeling, because I'm being told that when you have somebody that's young and I feel like there's a sort of a sense of emergency with you, like it's really important for you to get this soon. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
And but I just wonder. I'm just going to check with my one of my guides as well, because he's stepping forward, and he's telling me that he says that you're a very brave girl, because he says that with your health you've had to go through a lot in your life. Would you understand that?
Yeah. Yeah.
More than the average. It's like one thing after another. And he's saying you're a very, very brave girl, and he admires you a lot for what you've gone through. And there's been times where you've had to go through things on your own. You haven't had support where you should have done. And he's admiring you for that. But he's also saying to me, but when you get your transplant, when it comes through, and he's saying it will come through because it's like it's ordained by God. It's meant to happen for you. And he's saying when it comes through, he's making me feel like you're going to get a very good match that's going to suit your body. And this match is going to work really well. You're going to do really well in your when it happens, and it will happen. And your nan is standing beside of me, and she's just smiling, and she's like, and she's nodding her head like, yes, that's right, like she knew. It's like she knew. But your nan is taking me right back to school days, and she's telling me how you when you were at school, she's showing me like times tables and mathematical stuff. I don't know why she's showing that to me specifically. Would you understand why she is showing me sort of maths?
I don't know about that. No.
Okay. Well, I'll ask her, shall I? It's probably the best thing to do. She's saying to me that when you were younger, she used to help you with some of your schoolwork, and
Yeah.
she used to sort of like. I feel like she would have helped with how to do sort of certain maths and helping you learn your tables and things like that. And she remembers that. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
She's very nurturing and very loving to you, and she makes me feel like she's almost more of a mum than a nan to you. That's how she feels, and she's saying.
Yeah.
It's like she did the job. That's how she makes me feel, and she's saying to me that there was never a second, never a moment where she regretted having to sort of take on that role and look after you, because she says it was an absolute joy to have you in her life and be with you, and she says, as much as you miss her, she misses you. And because she's making me feel like you're really strongly connected, like you're, like there's a real, I feel like, I know what she's saying. On a spiritual level, you're strongly connected. And I'm being shown it's like a gold cord. And so I know that you're really strongly connected spiritually. So you must have had previous lives together. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. And I'm going to go to my next caller, and I'm just seeing who's going to be available. And it looks like we've lost the last caller, and the next one hasn't come through. So I'm just going to sort of talk about Sarah in Sunderland, I believe, is waiting for a reading. Hello, are you there?
I'm from Sunderland, but my name's not Sarah, it's Rose.
Rose. Okay. Okay, sorry, I was just given that from the producer. Now, I'm a medium, and I can connect to loved ones in the spirit world, or I can actually look at an aspect of your life. Is there a particular way that you'd like me to work?
I would honestly like to see if you could connect with loved ones.
And is there, we've only got sort of 10 minutes, is there somebody in particular that you'd like me to connect to?
Well, there's two really. There's my dad and my daughter.
Your dad and your daughter. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. The very first person that's come through is your dad, and he's come straight in. Like, he didn't give me a second to sort of, see who was there. He was just right in, and I saw him. He's saying to me that let's see. He's saying to me that he's struggled with sort of aspects of his life, and I feel that he carries guilt in his soul, because he's making me feel as though he feels like he's saying to me, I should have been a better person. Like I didn't do, I wasn't the person that I should have been. Would you understand that about your dad?
Not really. Memories of my dad, he was a wonderful man.
Okay, well then I must have somebody else. And so I'm just going to, I thought it, because you asked your dad and he came straight in. So I just assumed that it would have been your dad. But this person is, he's a man, and he's saying to me that he's making me feel like he didn't treat his family very well. And I feel like there was some neglect towards his family. And I feel that there's a lot of guilt within him. Would you know of somebody around you in your family that would be like that? That's in the spirit world.
I would have to think about that. I can't bring anybody forward who's like that.
I've definitely got him speaking to me.
Hello?
Are you married or in a relationship? Because I'm being drawn to. Hello, can you hear me? So I'm being drawn to. I don't know if she can hear me, but I'm being drawn to a to somebody that you're in a relationship with or were in a relationship. So it feels like either a grandfather or father on that sort of level, and I feel that he has cause to come forward and apologize for his actions.
Oh, I've just
would you understand
that the line went dead?
Oh dear, right. Well, you're back now. So let's just recap quickly. I feel that this person, because he makes me feel as he's connected to somebody else in your family, and it feels like he's connected to a male in your family. Are you in a relationship? Because I feel like I want to go on that path. Have you got an ex? Because
yes, it's just come to mind. Yes, definitely an ex. Yes, definitely.
And you'd understand about somebody in the spirit world that is apologizing.
Yes, now I can. Yes.
Oh, wonderful! I'm not going mad. So I sometimes we come forward and we want somebody specifically, but I feel this message that this man is wanting. I feel he's telling me father. I feel like he's a father to your ex. Would you understand that?
I was thinking it was my ex myself because he's passed as well. And it sounded like my ex, he's done a lot of things that he would have regretted at the end of his life. Okay,
well, is he the father to your children?
Yes.
Okay. Right, what he's saying to me is that he's making me feel as though he did some damage to people that are around you and possibly yourself, like he hurt people around you. Would you understand that? And he's saying to me that there are people in your family that have not recovered from his actions, because he's making me feel that he was really not a good person, and he's saying that there are people in your family that don't like to talk good of him. They're sort of disgusted in his behavior or his actions, and he desperately wanted to come forward and say that he's been struggling in the spirit world with looking at aspects of his life, and he sincerely wants to apologize to you, because he says that since he's passed and because of his actions and because of his behavior, you've struggled moving forward. Would you understand that?
Yes, I would. Yes.
And he's coming forward and he wants to apologize. He knows he's done wrong and wants to put things right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing the word daughter, and I get the feeling that he's making me feel as though he's aware of her in the spirit world, and he's and he's showing me how they've sort of come together, and he's making me feel as though they've worked through things in the spirit world, because I feel that she had issues with him as well. Would you understand that?
No, because she was only 18 weeks old when we lost her.
She's making me feel as though she didn't. It's like she's making me feel like she doesn't approve of his actions.
Mm.
And she's struggled to have. It's like she's making me feel like there's been a struggle to have a relationship between the two of them, and as a consequence, but I feel like they've repaired. Like they're making me feel like they've repaired a lot, because and your daughter is so, she feels so spiritual and so light, there's such a beautiful essence to her, that I cannot impress on you how much she is evolved and a beautiful soul. But she's is there a connection to angels with her? Did you refer to her as an angel, or have you put an angel on some sort of plaque or headstone or something? Or
I actually have a tattoo that says her name with "Sweet Little Angel" in a scroll.
Okay, good. I felt angel with her, and I felt that name was significant, because I felt like it was written somewhere. And she's saying that she likes to look after you, and she says that it always upsets her when you cry.